Hello, welcome back to Eric's Welsh Garden. Today we're in the greenhouse and we are about to pot on my potato cuttings that I took earlier in the year. Now, over many centuries, people have been growing potatoes in this way, and it's where they start with one really big potato, cut it up into as many pieces as they can, and then grow them on, and then that usually allows them to have a slightly bigger potato yield than they would have done if they'd actually planted that potato in one go. So another YouTuber, Steve from Digwell Greenfingers, he set a little challenge to anybody on YouTube that wanted to be involved, and that was to see who could get the maximum yield from one seed potato. So I found the biggest one I could, and it had 7 kind of chits on it, 7 eyes, and I managed to cut it into 7 pieces. And as you can see here, I have 7 plants, so I'm so excited to see how well they do. I was hoping that these would have been already growing away in pots, you know, maybe a month ago, to be honest, just after I'd actually managed to sprout them into little plants, but the weather has not been very good here, and as you can see, they're growing really big now, and I think this is one of the smaller plants. So today we're going to be getting these potted on into 2 30-litre buckets, and then we can hopefully see in a couple of months how big the harvest will be. So here's a slightly better kind of close-up of these seed potatoes, and as I said, this is the first time I've ever grown potatoes in this way, but it's something that on a previous allotment my plot neighbour always did, and I know my grandmother was quite fond of this as well, so I'll be really interested to see how these grow. Now these pots here, they are very dry, but I have been looking after them and I've kept them under cover because we've been having quite a lot of frosts. So what I think I'm going to do is the three larger potatoes will be going in one pot, and then the 4 smallers will be going together in another pot, and that will mean that because they're about the same size, I don't have to worry too much about earthing them up really high. But what I will be doing is keeping these under cover for the rest of you know, the next month, or until, to be honest, I don't have any room inside the greenhouse. Now with the potatoes, they have been quite badly affected by green fly. Now I always saw that as a major pest and a serious problem in the past, but actually there's plenty of predators on my plot that will be able to take control of that situation shortly. Blue tits really like to have them and feed them to their young, and then you've got ladybirds and other things like that. So hopefully I don't really need to worry too much about the green fly issue, and they will grow really nicely. My understanding when growing potato cuttings like this is that you won't get as much of a yield from each cutting as you would from kind of one bigger seed potato. So I'm not going to waste too much soil on these, and I'm only going to be putting them in a 30-litre bucket. As you can see here, this potato has an amazing root formation already. So I'll just kind of tease it out a little bit because it's starting to look, well, it's very pot bound, as you can see. And then I will just kind of put these in equal distance. And that one there has a slightly smaller root formation. So I'm just going to be earthing these up now with some shop-bought peat-free compost. It's just a cheap compost. Like I said, this is an experiment really, and I don't want to kind of waste too much money or time on this before I know what the results will be. Because I've got a little bit of a shortage of compost at the moment, I think I'm just going to earth them up to about this high, and then as soon as they start to grow in another week or 2, I will add compost to the very top. So now to put the 3 bigger ones in, I think what I'm going to do is just make sure both pots have a really good water before I set them aside, because the compost here at the top is pretty dry. The variety that I'm growing here is called Orla, and it's a main crop potato. So usually if I was growing a main crop potato in one of these buckets, I would grow 2. So, you know, I think having 3 cuttings in here might actually work out quite well. So hopefully we'll get quite a good little harvest. I'm inside the polytunnel now, and I've brought the buckets up here before watering them, and that's because one thing I've learnt this year is that when you have 30-litre buckets or 35-litre buckets, even with just normal compost, they can be really heavy. So I've brought them up here to water them, and they will be staying in this area for the foreseeable future. With my polytunnel, I've not finished securing the polytunnel to the ground, so at the moment there's still quite a few air gaps underneath, but I'm not too worried because we had a late frost in May last year, and actually in the woodland area it wasn't hit by frost at all, but down at my allotment it was. So having the polytunnel over the top should mean that even if we get a really heavy frost, they should be absolutely fine up here. And I will also be earthing them up a lot more really soon. If you're also interested in how you can grow multiple plants from one big seed potato, then do watch my video. I'll put a link above in the cards there for you to watch, or down below in the description. And as I said at the very beginning, this video was totally inspired by Steve from Digwell Green Fingers, so I will also put a link to his video down below and his channel, so if you're not familiar with him, please go over and check him out. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I really hope you've enjoyed it, but please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all of my latest videos. As ever, YouTube have some videos up now on the screen that they think you'll like, including this one here where I actually made these seed potatoes, so please go ahead and watch those, and I will catch up with you in the next episode. Bye!